Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Karrier FC-PA-PB Spacevan. Its 23-year mission to explore strange new van worlds, to seek out new minibus life and new forward-control civilizations, to boldly go where no multi-purpose van has gone before. This is the story of the Karrier FC, the multi-purpose van and minibus that was also your kitchen sink. Well, almost. Hi, this is Jeffrey. So back in the 1950s, the British automotive manufacturer Karrier, which was owned by the Roots Group, was falling behind in the multi-purpose vehicle category. In 1960, they introduced their new forward control vehicle, which would have up to 21 body styles, including a light bus. But will this vehicle succeed? Will it last a long time? It's a really fascinating story, so let's get started in learning about the Karrier FC-PA-PB Spacevan. The British vehicle manufacturer Karrier, known for buses such as the Avenger and the Commando, they would eventually develop an interesting multi-purpose vehicle that could also be used as a light bus. The new vehicle would be of the forward control layout and would be a Roots Group design, as Roots owned Karrier at the time. Roots was uncharacteristically falling behind its competitors, and it was developed to challenge new forward control vans like the Austin Morris J2, Bedford CA, and Standard Atlas. Plus, it would have huge flexibility as to a significant variety of uses. And so, what would this new multi-purpose vehicle introduced in February of 1960 be? It was the Karrier FC-PA. This new 3/4-ton van had a carrying capacity of up to 210 cubic feet. Built of a unitary all-steel construction, it could be equipped with either hinged or sliding doors. With its partially skirted tires and a deep one-piece panoramic windscreen, it projected a slightly futuristic image. And it could be powered by either petrol or diesel units. And it would have a lot of flexibility. This flexibility meant that Roots was able to offer no fewer than 16 different ex-factory body designs. In addition to a standard van, there was a choice of 2 pickups, a bottle or milk float, a gown van, a drop side, a high top, a baker's van, and a mobile shop. There were also passenger carrying transport versions, including a light bus, a contractor's bus, and even a small service or station wagon bus, which was fully compliant with then current PSV regulations, and it could also be an ambulance. From November 1962, a 1-ton, 2,500-pound version was offered, and the range of factory body options had now reached 21. In September 1965, an intermediate 2,000-pound version became available. Now, let's take a look at some of the basic specifications of the Karrier FC. Number 1, length is 14 feet. Number 2, width is 6 feet 1 inches. Number 3, height is 6 feet 8 inches. Number 4, weight ranged from 2,468 pounds for the hinged door petrol van to 3,063 pounds for the diesel-powered contractor's bus. Number 5, passenger capacity for the bus versions ranged from 8 to 14, depending upon configuration. Number 6, engine originally was the 1,494cc or 1,592cc Hillman-derived petrol or the 1,621cc Perkins diesel. From 1968 onwards, the 1,724cc cast iron head version and the 1,760cc diesel were also available. And finally, number 7, top speed was 70 miles per hour, but drivers were generally told not to go over 65 miles per hour. The PB, launched in 1967, was an update featuring the larger engines, mechanical upgrades, and additional front indicators. The FC was, as we shall see, utilized by entities in the UK such as Royal Mail and Post Office Telecommunications.
Wow!
However, servicing these vehicles was quite problematic. Callum Canfield, who was a mechanic with the post office, explains.
In order to maximize every inch of usable space from the bodywork, the engine was placed under the floor between the two front seats. General servicing would be accomplished through a hatch in the floor, but major attention wasn't easy. To remove the engine, the entire front suspension and subframe had to be dropped to gain access. However, we found that engine changes could be done much quicker by removing the windscreen and front seats, and then lifting the engine through the near side door using a hydraulic engine crane.
The American auto company Chrysler, an investor in the Roots Group, gradually increased its stake until it absorbed the company in 1967. The Roots Group was struggling, and in 1976, the Commer name was phased out in favor of Dodge. Thus, the Commer PB became, for a few months, the Dodge K-Series, with 3 versions, which were the K120, K140, and K160. Faced with Chrysler Europe's difficulties, the United Kingdom bailed out the British branch. The Dodge K-Van was thus chosen to equip the British Post and Telecommunications Service, on the condition that the vehicle be improved to bring it up to the same level as the Ford Transit and Leyland Sherpa. This led to the creation of the Dodge Spacevan, which was unveiled at the request of the British government in May of 1977. However, the name Spacevan was actually adopted to the older design in 1974. The new Spacevan was a major facelift of the Dodge K-Series, featuring a plastic grille that gives the van a 1970s look and a raised bumper to improve airflow to the engine. Mechanically, the Spacevan offers nothing new. The main updates are found inside, such as better sound insulation and reclining driver's seat. Its name was more of a nod to its interior space, rather than anything futuristic or spaceship-like. 3 months after the Spacevan's launch, it was announced that Chrysler was selling its European subsidiary to Peugeot. The French manufacturer had no interest in British commercial vehicles. The Spacevan survived until 1983, largely thanks to government contracts. The last one rolled off the assembly line on February 17, 1983, marking the end of an adventure that had begun 23 years earlier. And so came the unceremonious end to one of the most versatile vehicles of all time. And so there it is, the story of the Commer FC, PA, PB Spacevan, and the Dodge Spacevan, and the Fargo version as well. So do you have any interesting stories or memories of this very versatile vehicle? If you do, just let us know in the comments below. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Commer FC in all of its varieties. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.